All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this stream. Typically we've been starting around 10 doing wheel throwing. This last month as we started getting into live streaming. Anyways, I felt like today doing a little bit of cleanup, and this is kind of the area that I keep my go-to tools. And I found a table at Goodwill last night, killing some time, and it's this beautiful 12 to 13 foot table. So we're going to call them up today and get that measured in just a few minutes. They open up at 10, and then I'm going to measure out this space, and if it'll fit here, then we'll get rid of this kiln. This was the first kiln I had got from my buddy, and we gave it hell. And then all of these tools here, we'll get these back over to the tool shed. And if we can, we'll get that table from Goodwill and have it right there. Maybe start setting up our streaming desk and shipping station and things like that. And then if it fits across the studio, then I felt like this could be a really cool place to go live and start doing some live sales and showcase some work. So anyways, welcome in. There's nobody moderating except YouTube. So hang out, play nice, and I'm going to be just kind of piddling here and there. I'll check in as I can, and whenever we get through, just running our minds, then we'll get into doing some wheel throwing. See if I can't pull up a way to see our chat. don't need a heater anymore. South Mississippi will have that covered. Check, check. All right. It's really hard to determine what you need available quickly and what can be stored away for tools. But I think having a table here will be a lot more valuable than having tools. In Pottery Studio, tables and shelves are the absolute essentials. Tables and shelves. All right, I think all of this is going to be shifting momentarily. Let's go ahead and $10 feet. $11 feet. So I was working with Leela was in here the last few streams, and we had a significant number of people pull in and kind of took us off guard. And so we're right now researching how to, you know, have a proper how to moderate a stream properly. That way it's a safe environment for everyone, but yet to still have, you know, your voice and to say, you know, what you feel you need to say. And then it's really difficult to try to understand how to balance that out, because you have a lot of people out there that just want to, you know, troll and throw out whatever they want just to cause commotion. $9.58. This looks like it needs to be washed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so I'm moving things out from this wall, and I'm going to just start moving tools over to the shed. In a few minutes, we're going to be at 10 o'clock. So if you want to call them and ask them what the dimensions are of the table, then we can kind of know if we're going to move forward with this or not.
Okay. This is probably in here too if we want to use this.
Yeah, and I'm trying to decide like what I need to keep here.
Like probably whatever your most, either what kind of cluster of tools or maybe if you use them commonly.
Yeah. I feel like this is gonna go in the other studio.
Should I put this with your pottery tools or no?
I don't know what I use it for. It's an oyster shucking knife. think that table is going to be a necessary addition.
Are we gonna glue this back?
No, let's go ahead and throw it
We
away.
have the rest?
Yeah, I keep
Oh, this is for your shop vac.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it broke in half. I don't remember where I keep seeing it.
I'll put your super glue in here.
All right. So I'm going to call Goodwill and ask them what the dimensions are for that table, and then we'll see if it can fit on this wall. Wow, that was loud. Yes, good morning. I was in there last night, and y'all had a table that was in the back, and it was a long, thin table. I think I'd counted like 13 by 3 steps. So I was wondering if you could get me the exact measurements on it. Would that be possible? Can I? Do you have a better time to call back, or could I leave a number and maybe when you get it, y'all could give me a call back? There's a table back there for $40, and it's like 12 feet long. And I saw it last night, and I came to my studio to measure the wall to see if it would fit. And I think it would save me a trip up if it didn't fit. And if it does, then I'd like to drive up and purchase it. It was like a sandy tan uh, particle board table, 12 by 3 feet. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am. Sounds good. Thank you. And if I don't hear from you, I'll give you a call back a little while. Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye. I got a feeling they ain't calling back. The thing about clay is that you have to constantly monitor its drying if you leave it out. And in South Mississippi, in the summer, pieces can dry out in 30 minutes or less. You know, you could put a piece of wet clay, you know, wet form outside, and that thing will just be bone dry so fast. And so I have an idea that when you cover pottery with a plastic cloth, it completely closes down the drying. Um, uh, and then if you open it and take it off, then it will start drying again. And so I thought that maybe there's a material that has certain levels of breathability, so that whenever you drape it or cover it, then it would allow a very specific amount of evaporation so that you can control the drying. For instance, I put a lot of my pottery in trash bags, in these garbage bags for trash cans, and they're almost completely non-breathable material. Obviously, you don't want, you know, a trash bag to breathe. And so when you put pots in it and then you roll it up, it seals it, and it'll stay like that for a really long time. And I thought, well, what if there was like a material where you had like 10% breathability, 20% breathability, and then 100% breathability would just be, you know, something that had, you know, some, you know, clearly no attempt to restrict airflow. And then you could have a piece and you go, I need this to dry out in this amount of time. And then you could put it in like a, you know, a 30% breathability bag. And then in 3 days or 4 days, maybe it's ready to be worked on. But in pottery, you're always at the whim of the clay. It tells you when it needs to be worked on. And, you know, if you don't, then you better wrap it up. What you got going on, Leela?
Did you want me to call the store?
I just called them, and I guess I should have had enough foresight to realize you're not going to get good customer service. But anyways, it was, yeah, probably bad timing. They were just opening up, and she said that she was restricted to a certain place and could not go and do that. I asked her to, you know, she could call me back, and she kind of was surprised by that.
Okay.
Like, you want me to do what? So I don't have much hope. I don't have much hope for that. But I did tell her that I will call her back in a little while. You know,
Yeah,
you
well,
know,
I'm going out that way tomorrow.
if I don't hear from her.
You can also do that tomorrow.
I think this is done, and I keep thinking I can repurpose egg crates to hold my brushes, but these have something. I will hold on to it. I will put it with the glazed brushes. So I think it's really good because that material, or I guess, you know, styrofoam is, you know, I think very hydrophobic. And so it's very good for glazes and liquids and stuff because it just comes off. You know, it's bad that we don't have a way of repurposing or recycling.
Yeah. Right now we have like a plastic one in the fridge, but we could probably save the next styrofoam one.
So
Do you have a sea plant place in your shed? I know about these from my stage maintenance class.
this extension cord could be useful for running power to the camera.
True.
We'll set that aside for now.
Do you have other sea plants besides this? Maybe.
I mean, I do. I don't know if they're like that. I know I've got a lot of small ones. Now, all of this that comes out, I think I'll be moving it to the toward the shed before I figure out how I'm gonna sort it. This is the drill bit. This is a masonry drill bit that I had purchased from, I think, AliExpress to attempt to drill through some of my kiln brick in order to try to make lamps out of them. And so I'm excited to try this out. I've got so many ideas and so little time to try them all. Fit. All right, that stays, this goes. This stays, this stays. Welcome in, y'all. We're just cleaning up and trying to organize this area over here so that we can see if we can fit a table. We found a table at Goodwill that's like 12 or 13 feet, and we're hoping if it fits here, we can start creating a space where we have our computer, live stream set up, and a place where we can do a little bit more business here in the studio now that we're live streaming our process. If you have questions, you can feel free to throw them in there, and I check the computer chat every now and again. Just like that. Let me see if this is try that. Yeah. Yeah, here's a question. So the other day we were streaming, and we had a huge turnout, more than we could have ever imagined, and the stream got pretty hairy. Like, people were, definitely feeling very liberal in their sharing. Uh, so my thought that's led me uh, to research the moderators, and moderators, they follow the chat and they keep things clean. The question I have is in light of free speech, um, there's certainly things that are good for communities, and there's things that are not. Language being a huge part of it. Uh, is it better to have fewer limitations, and you take the risk of someone coming in wanting to really kind of shake things up, um, or do you limit speech and then you create an environment where people don't have the freedom to express themselves? uh, I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts? I I believe that if you have fewer restrictions, then you're going to need heavier moderation, so that if things get, uh, go south, then you can handle that. But then if you don't have moderators, then I feel like I should be more strict with the YouTube's comments and blocked words and things like that. So let me know if you would prefer more moderation or less moderation. More freedom comes more chance of abuse. Less freedom, you lose an element of maybe what who you are. Do viewers want moderation, heavier moderation, or more freedom? I mean, I feel like if I just took off all the moderations and let people just kind of speak their piece, then everyone would need thick skin to be able to handle some of the things that people will say just to rile, was it to trigger someone. But as a solo artist working out of a studio, I felt going live was the easiest way to share my artwork. But now I'm realizing that going live has its own limitations, and one of those limitations is the need to babysit a chat group, in case somebody wants to come and be authentic in whatever way they know how. All right, so we're still cleaning up this wall here. I think I'm going to get rid of this kiln and maybe scrap it for like a rebuild or like a conversion. If I can convert this electric kiln to a gas kiln, that's a possibility. And then we're going to try to get this table. I found a 12-foot table at Goodwill, and I'm going to see if we can't drop it here. Cool thing is it was about a week or so ago, I got a notification from YouTube saying that 3 years ago I posted my first video, and it was it was pretty raw back then. And anyways, almost 1 month ago, I had made the commitment to live stream every day in order to just kind of rip that Band-Aid off and get past the initial fear of hot mics and videos and just sharing who you are. And anyways, today is the last day of that commitment. And I told myself that if I live streamed every day for 30 days, then I would invest or buy myself the computer necessary to live out here in the studio and begin outfitting it with a live stream setup. And so my camera, this cable, I just bought this 50-foot active cable so that I could run the camera. It'll reach anywhere in my studio space. Right outside this door is my kiln. Yeah, this actually may be quicker, just focus and roll. But right out here is my kiln, and the cable is long enough to reach all the way back there. A couple of my long videos, my 4 or 5 minute photo reels, really, video reels, video 5-minute long form videos. I show that thing being rebuilt, and those were some of the last videos that I made before I realized, like, I just don't have time to edit, right? Like, who has time to edit their life? And but in a world where we need to share who we are in order to, to realize value, I said, live streaming just may be that answer. So here we are. Let me know if you have any comments on all of that. Right now we're just doing some grunt work, clearing all these tools out that I don't access enough, and I'm going to put a table in so that we can start building, continue building. But yeah, if you got an opinion, let me see if I'll make a poll. Let's do a poll real quick, and I'm going to say, ask a question. Oh, cancel that. Do you as a viewer want censored or is that more censored or less censored? More or heavier censored? And I wish I could use words better. Do you as a viewer want, it's a yes or no question, censored chats for community safety? Do you as a viewer want censored chats for community safety? Yes or no? Start the poll. But yeah, community, they say if you moderate heavier or block a lot of things, then you can create a safer environment. And then if you pull those restrictions off, then your live stream has the ability to get trolled, and people can drop in anything they want to create disruption. So let me know if you pass through. I'd love your opinion. I personally feel like I've got pretty thick skin, and that's not something I want to be tested on. But I feel like I've got pretty thick skin, and if anyone were to, try to, throw in some crude comments, I don't feel like I would have any trouble with it, but I know to create a safe community for everyone, or as many people as possible, then there is a level of restriction that you need. Every community, I guess, has rules, but it's really hard to know how to regulate language, um, in light of free speech. So it could be a good topic. I would love input, love information on that, since I'm new to this, and I want to create this community that just shares art and creativity, but I also don't want uh, the burden of having others offend others in a space that I create. So, with that being said, let me know if you have an opinion. As a potter or an artist, creator, a maker, every little thing ends up being, something that could be useful. Like this little piece here, I don't even know what it is. It's just like a little wooden dowel. Oh, I remember making this. I drilled through that, but I don't remember why. So I took a dowel rod and drilled a hole through it, and I don't remember why. I'm throwing it away.
All right. Peace out, dowel rod pieces.
What's up, babe?
I was
Do you
going
want
to see if I could be of assistance.
Do you want to try back, or do you want to maybe run to the store and measure the table, and and then you can call me, and if we feel like it fits, you can rip the tag off and buy it, and then we can just decide when we want to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do that?
Yeah,
or
I
we could just.
I mean, I was just kind of coming to see if I could help you
Hey,
here,
Chloe.
or if I was just gonna post some things on Marketplace.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if it would be better for me to go to Goodwill, then I can do that first.
I don't know.
I
would say we'll wait. We'll keep at this. Maybe she'll call back, and when I'm done, then we can decide if we want to run up there and do that, or get started throwing some pieces.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that. This thin one is the fan.
For Callie's fan. Yeah, and then bring the. Oh, I think I already grabbed the other one.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna go put the Oculus Rift pieces.
All right. So if anyone has not seen my bowl balls, I don't think I have any of them in here, but this was one of the things that I had done to create them. I made a form out of a piece of wood, and then I took plaster and I threw plaster on the wheel. So I just took a mound of plaster and then I just kept forming it. And after I'd formed it, then oh, know what I did? No, I didn't. I threw a piece of clay on the wheel and then I formed that. And then I used this rib. I made a custom rib to sink into that clay. And then I poured it in plaster like this. And so I did two sides, one and then another. And so one has this edge that comes up and then the other has an edge that flares out. And so when I took clay and then I would just form clay around this bowl in this crevice and then on this one, and then fanned it out so that when they come off they fit together. And then I made it was like a ball, and then they had little feet on both sides, and then you could take them apart and have a pair of bowls. So I thought that was an interesting project. I believe that's the size of a softball. It's going down. It's interesting how when you have a desire for something, like I would desire that people come to my stream and they're comfortable here and they enjoy being here and they receive a benefit that they want from being at this in this space, in my studio space. and and there goes that thought. That's how fast they go. I was thinking of a new new term. There's the term I think brain fart. People say like, oh, it's a brain fart, but I don't really think that's a a classy phrase. And so I'm trying to think of another phrase that can be used for those moments where you're in a thought, and then all of a sudden you lose it for whatever reason. And because that happens, and I do it quite often, and I'd say it's a really it has been a big concern of mine when it comes to live streaming, because when you make videos you can just edit out your mistakes, but the whole purpose of being here live streaming is because the artwork itself demands it. It says that in order to have unique individuality, you have to appreciate the the mistakes or the errors or the chips and the cracks, and because that's where you get unique beauty from, is from the unique experience that each piece has when it goes through it. Like this piece here, looks like almost like sand and shore with water on this candle holder, but I don't know what this is. This black, and then there's a spot here that looked like it needed to be cleaned down and polished, and I held it back because I loved the surface. It was one of the few that had this really rich orange to turquoise blend, and then to have that sort of a beach look, like a beach look. And so it's like if I looked at the blemish and said, oh, I can't have that, then you know I wouldn't necessarily get the opportunity to get this effect. And so it's in trying things new that put you at risk of 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 being different or making a mistake or doing what no one else is doing. And then it's that that makes you unique. Your experiences that you go through are different than anyone else's experiences. And my work celebrates that, my artwork. And so so yeah, I come here to stream, to show my studio, uh, the behind the scenes, and in the end, it's it can be difficult. I think this is fiberglass or maybe refractory. It goes to this kiln here, which I believe is about to be taken away. I appreciate everyone for who stops by. You're welcome to throw some questions at me. I'm gonna be getting ready to do some wheel throwing in a little while, but right now I have the opportunity to get a really nice table, and I want to drop a table in right here. maybe nobody likes my question. Do you as a viewer want censored chats for community safety? What if I were to try this cable? Let's try this new cable, and then we'll see if we can back the camera up and get a fuller view. I'm trying to think of what kind of topics I can ramble on about. I've got a board over here where I've been writing a few of them down. I could ask if you had what would you want to see in a live stream studio experience? So if there was and I'm sure there are plenty of them out there, but what reason would you want to follow a live streaming pottery studio? Is it for the work, for the finished pieces, for the artist, style, character, personality? I think as an artist, I've recognized that it is the artist that brings value to the artwork, because there's a lot of really great artwork in the world. There's a lot of makers, there's a lot of creative people, and our society, social media has inadvertently, celebrated that. And so, so I go, well, I love my art. I love creating. I love this ability to be able to share my space. And what would you like to see in a space like this? I don't know if this is even on. It is not. Okay, that's working. So this will be a different vantage point. I also keep hearing that live sales are going to be, they're growing to be some of the, the best ways to sell. And so I'm thinking about, so this table, if this table fits, we're going to get it measured out, and if it works, we'll buy it, and maybe keep that table here. And then if we get into live sales, I thought we might be able to stretch it across here and then be able to present that way. Who knows? All right, what's next? I feel everything is out. If you have any questions, you can feel free to throw them in. This kiln works, it just doesn't work well. It is on its, well, it is, its last leg is done. I think we're going to disassemble it and scrap it for parts. It will fire, but I think it barely even hits bisque temperatures, which is about 1800 degrees, give or take, or maybe 1500 degrees. I don't know. I probably should know that. That's gross. Who likes pottery? Artwork, live streaming. Who's here because they're bored? I noticed that a lot of these live streams are very volatile, and a lot of them are politically motivated. I really want to just create a place where, you know, we can share, you know, share and be beautiful and be vulnerable and have a place to make beautiful things. All right. Ain't nobody here. Don't want to talk to myself. I do talk to myself quite often. Check out this thing. This here is a bib connector for the wine boxes. You know, like the box wine. And so they got the little plunger where you fill up. So this right here will fit onto the end of a box wine connector, and then you can screw this down, and then it plunges it down, opens it, and then you can attach a hose to refill a box wine bag. And I want to use those for here's one. I want to use one for use them for glazes. So I tested it. I tested it with this bag, and I just put this little plastic plunger on the end till I got this in. But check this. So you just slip this onto the end like that. And then make sure there's no electrical cable under your foot. See, like nothing comes out. And then if you plunge it, like that. And so then we can refill the bags with glaze. And so I was thinking I could mix a glaze, get the consistency right, and these bags are really strong. And so I could fill them up with a glaze using this, and and just make a whole bunch of them, just stockpile them, because it takes a lot of work to mix up glazes, and then have a bag of it, and then when I need glaze, I could just take the bag, throw it into, you know, some sort of like tumble mill or something, and then just let it roll the bag around until it remixes. And then you just kind of pour out however much glaze you want. And so I'm pretty excited about these. It'll give, I think repurposing these bags would be really nice. As an artist, I love to repurpose anything I can. Oops. All right, I think we are just about done cleaning this this corner out. I don't know about the kiln because I want to move it. I can't move it by myself, but I can pull it apart. And maybe even salvage some pieces off of it. But this was the first kiln, that I'd got from a buddy of mine, and it lasted for a good little while. We'll take our time with this, since that board is $400. I'm gonna try to sell it. This looks like a K-type. Anyway, we'll do all that later. I also found this. I forget where I found it. I think it was a garage sale or something. I don't know. But I was going to try to pull it apart, because I think all of these materials are very premium materials. And I thought I could repurpose this into something. Who knows? I don't want to break these. These are plaster. It was a sheet of plaster that I had cut. I'd cut it in half into strips, and then I drilled step bits into it in order to to make stilts, little tripod stilts. I need to put them somewhere where they won't get broken. How about under? I hope everyone is doing well. I don't know when people come to these streams, since since they live online. Then someone could be here from anywhere, anytime, and that's an interesting thought for me. Like, does our memory transcend time? Maybe more so than our bodies, but our memory isn't necessarily held by time. And so for a YouTube video to be public, then when you make a video or you put yourself out there, then there's a part of you that maybe becomes timeless. Is that part of the fear of making videos and putting ourselves on YouTube or any sort of platform, is that if you put yourself out there and it's always available, or if it's always there, then whatever you do, it's that mistake or that whatever you do is heightened. Because it's in essence has become mildly eternal, because it can transcend our own time, which is maybe part of where that fear is. We are afraid of being remembered for the things that we want to forget. We are afraid of being remembered for the things we want to forget. I'm going to write that down. Are we afraid of being remembered by the things we want to forget? And maybe that's what keeps us from, really letting go of who we are, or letting go of that image of who we want to be. What was that for? I don't even remember why I made that. All right, I think we're done with this. I just kind of had the thought that I should have live streamed this from my personal channel, because I feel like this is probably more a personal rant than what should go here. All right, look at that. All right, I think we're done. We have successfully cleared out this entire wall minus this kiln, and what we're going to do now is go hit up Goodwill, and we're going to see if that table fits right there, and if so, I think it's going to be a great addition to our studio, and as we move forward live streaming. So all right, I think we're going to be done for right now. We do have clay ready to throw today, but I'm going to get this table situation figured out, and then I'll be back. We'll do some wheel throwing and trim the cups that we threw yesterday. So all right, we're out. Y'all take care. Nobody cared for sharing. That's quite all right.